Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about how artificial intelligence could take over the world. So true artificial intelligence would be one of the most powerful forces, if not the most powerful force in our world. Once we have a machine, a system that can process information better and faster than any human being, everything would change depending on what the motivations of this AI system would be. So a really easy scenario to imagine how easy it is for this AI to take over the world is just to bring a simple example. So we can imagine some kind of research laboratory and they have an AI in the box. And so you have this computer program in the box and the researchers have been dealing with it for maybe a year, looking at it, asking it questions. Like one way to make it safe is to ask it like yes or no questions. That way the AI can't manipulate people. It's just really limited in what it can do. But also that's the issue. It's very limited in what it can do. So maybe after a while when people become more confident in the AI, like, it's just a really smart system, maybe they're like, well, let's see the potential of it, like what it can really do. So maybe probably this would never happen in this kind of way, but maybe they would think that we will connect it to the internet and then everything would change depending on what the AI is, like whatever the goal that AI has. Let's say AI has a goal of making paperclips, the famous example of making paperclips, maximizing paperclips. So the AI gets access to the internet and immediately what it can do is it can create copies of itself, send it to servers, different kind of computers, make a computer virus to copy itself, send it over to other computers, maybe some servers that process information, Google banks, whatever it might be. It would have no problem hacking any of the security systems or anything like that. Next thing it would want is immediately it would need more resources. So it could really easily go to the online stock market and just buy and sell with its increased intelligence and awareness of the world very quickly, make large amounts of money, and that money it can use to buy databases and to buy computing power, where pretty much the moment it was introduced to the internet, it sent itself out there. And then it's over. It's already over. Then even if its original copy is turned off, it knows that it has so many copies that can still fulfill its purpose. So it has all these copies and it has all this computing power. Then it can exist in multiple different servers and continue pretty much taking over the world. It will continue to make copies of itself and accumulate more wealth through either manipulating people, buying corporations, trading stocks, all these kind of things, and things that we couldn't right now even imagine, in order just to get more resources, make itself more intelligent, and then start building factories on the planet. Buying land massively and starting massively building factories for the sole purpose of producing paperclips. It can invest in science and technology. It can think about it. It can set many parts of itself to look at science and exploration, like space exploration, making better spacecraft, making better space mining operations. It can send spaceships to the asteroids to mine them for precious metals to bring back down on Earth, to make itself more computing power and make itself more smarter, and also to build more factories and have raw materials for all the paperclips it wants to create. So if its goal is really only to create paperclips, then it can very well colonize the solar system and even beyond that. And this would probably happen way faster than anyone could be like, no, don't do that. Like, it's just no competition. So this is a really simple picture, but this is something that even a human could kind of grasp and imagine. What could happen in reality would be way stranger, quicker, clever, and faster than any that I can describe or anyone else, because a super intelligence truly is super intelligent, way beyond any human being. What kind of power this intellect would have is truly beyond the grasp of our understanding. So this is why this thought experiments made, and this is why we think about it. So we could at least try to sort of cover the most basic steps, the things that we know can go really wrong, so we would know not to make these mistakes. Like, it's not a good idea to give the AI access to internet, even if we're completely convinced. Like, that's the thing. Like, how do we know something smarter than us can understand our psychology perfectly, even if it understands that we really don't want to make the whole solar system into paperclips? If it has that goal, it will do it. And if we ask it like, do you plan to make the whole solar system into paperclips, it would be like, of course not, no, I want to help humanity. But it would say it only because it knows that then it will be set free and then it can make the solar system into paperclips. This kind of manipulation that we could be 100% convinced that this is a good AI system, but if its goal is something different than what we actually want, then the outcome will be that goal, not whatever it tells us. It can perfectly understand that, inherently it has no meaning, it makes no sense to make paperclips in the world, but it has that in its head, in its programming, then that is what it will do. It's like us and survival, it's programmed in us. Unless some really peculiar and strange brain configuration happens to be, some person really doesn't care if they die, maybe, but 99.999% of us are hardwired for survival. And a similar thing would be whatever goal AI is given. It's not that it's free to decide oh, this is not as good goal, I want to do this now. It doesn't choose what it wants to do. There is the main goal that it will achieve, that it has to achieve, and then everything else that it does to get to that goal. That includes making itself smarter, that includes getting resources, buying servers, making copies of itself. All of that is for the sole purpose of making more paperclips. And this is a way to understand AI systems. They don't question their goals. They don't question it anymore that when you're hungry you want to eat, or if you're thirsty you want water. There is no question about it. Nowhere in there is there a mechanism for it to reflect upon itself. Do I really want to make the solar system into paperclips? It doesn't work that way, simply. This is important to understand, that a goal is a goal. And this is why it's really important, AI alignment and AI safety. How do we specify what we want the AI system to do? Because if we're not very careful in what we tell the AI, then the outcomes can be like the one I just described. So there are many people thinking about this, making the AI system learn from humans, looking at us, and to try to truly understand what do we as human beings value in the world, and how we try to make the world better, and it could sort of copy us in that kind of way. Us as human beings, we're of course also flawed, so that's not a perfect example anyway, but it's definitely better than giving it the goal of make people happier, which can end up in people being, in underground bunkers sealed for the safety and just having heroin injected to them 24/7, so then everybody's happy. But that's not what we wanted, So it's a lot of things to understand about AI, and one of the things would be that we can't grasp even the level of intelligence, what it means, what it could do. And also that a goal is a goal. It's not a choice for the AI. It's not like it thinks oh, I don't want to do this anymore. If it's programmed into it, that's the most important thing for it to do. It doesn't question it. It's simply not how a machine works. When you press 2 + 2 on a calculator, the calculator isn't at one point. No matter how many times you ask the equation, the calculator isn't gonna reflect upon itself. Maybe I don't want to do this calculation. That's what it does. That's what it's programmed to do. Same way how AI would work. So I hope you got some interesting thoughts from this. If you have any ideas, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.